Well, hello, and welcome to Trash with a capital T, where we give trashy books and movies the love they truly deserve, and some deserve more than others. I'm your host, Bobby. New videos are posted here every Sunday, 8:30 a.m. And today we are looking at a classic series from my youth, but we are looking at its modern incarnation. We are looking at Goosebumps, House of Shivers, The Last Sleepover. If you watched my last video, which was I think like the Spine Tinglers book, it's been a bit since I filmed that. Um, I was talking about how I kind of was getting the itch to read a Goosebumps book. It's that time of year, and these types of books work really well for my anxiety. They kind of bring me back to like level, and it's really nice. So I caved and I got myself a Goosebumps book. I was gonna originally go for one of the older ones, but I saw this cover. If you could see it, I kind of got a glare on it. Saw this cover and I was like, you know what? Why don't I give one of the modern ones a try? And I went in, kind of remembering what a Goosebumps book is like. You always have to go into these understanding. R.L. Stine, while he writes horror books for kids, never really wanted to write horror books. He was always someone who wanted to write joke books or comedies or funny books. So there's always a lot of pranks in his books. There are always a lot of jokes, and you have a lot of cool dude characters. Luckily, that gets dropped here. But I went in kind of with those expectations. Like, I'm not going to get a hardcore horror story, like even like a kid's hardcore horror story. I'm going to get a fun, goofy, little, for this case, ghost story. And you know what? That's exactly what I got. Now, this one does actually hit pretty hard in some spots, and I did enjoy that. It also avoids the R.L. Stine fake outs or the basically outright lying that he does in a lot of his books, not just in Goosebumps, but also in Fear Street. And he kind of did it in his adult books too, where he'll be like, oh my God, so and something happened. And then the next chapter, no, it didn't. Or I misinterpreted. There was one in a Fear Street book called Party Summer. I think it was Party Summer. Where like, oh, they were covered in blood. Oops, it was just ketchup in the next chapter. So short version of this, I actually really enjoyed this. It was a nice experience. It's very quick. It's very short. They're a little longer than I remember them being. This is about 147 pages. So, it does actually have a little time to flesh itself out. This did definitely feel a little more thought out than some of the older Goosebumps books that I had read. I mean, it's 100% still a Goosebumps story. You get the weird humor, but there are some actual surprisingly creepy scenes and a couple of little shocking scenes. All of it is age appropriate. Obviously, you're not getting blood and gore and gru and all of that. But, there are some moments in it that actually made me go, oh, this is kind of creepy. Did it scare me? No, I'm an adult. But I definitely enjoyed my experience with this one. So the general plot is we have this old house that is inhabited by a ghost named Emily. And she died during a sleepover. And no one has ever found her body. And she has grown over the 10 years that she has been a ghost in this house to like her solitary environment. The problem is a new family is moving in, and that new family has two kids, Lily and Rory. And Rory has turned this old creaky house into a smart house. And Emily hates it. She hates having noisy kids in the house. She wants them gone. So she's going to do everything she can to get them out of the house. And she actually doesn't hold back. There are some good creepy moments in this. I'm not going to go too far into spoilers just yet. I will at some point. I'll give you a warning when I will, just in case you guys want to read this. Because I do recommend it. I think it's very fun. Atmosphere-wise, there are some really solid moments. There's some moments where, because we kind of jump between Emily, Rory, the younger brother, and then Lily, his older sister, who is supposed to be like 13-ish, and Rory, I think, is supposed to be like 12, 11-ish. We do jump back and forth between characters a little bit. We really stick with Lily for the majority of the story. It avoids a lot of the tropes that I remember from the old books, which is the super annoying siblings. Rory and Lily, while not always getting along, actually are not the worst when it comes to sibling relationships. They tend to not bicker and prank each other all the time. It's kind of nice. They get along. Like, they feel like genuine siblings. Um, their relationship with their parents is not bad. The parents actually seem a little I mean, they're not really there. Parents are never super present in these books, and if they are, they're usually fairly disinterested. And we kind of get that a little here where the mom is sick of the kids talking about ghosts and stuff like that. There is some good humor. There is, I wonder if I can, Morgan Strange, yes. There is, the kids try and find a ghost hunter, this guy named Morgan Strange, who is a truly bizarre character. And there are some fun moments with him. But that one, his stuff ends up leaning a little more towards the humor, which I appreciated. But it avoids the fake outs. There is one. There is one fake out that it actually like pops to my mind. The rest of them actually like everything's happening. There is a ghost, and this ghost wants these kids gone. So getting a little more into spoiler territory. So if you don't want spoilers, stop here. Come back after you read the book. If you don't mind spoilers, let's keep going. So getting into a little spoiler territory, the key scenes that I kind of loved, there's a scene where Rory, he has a group of friends who are ghost hunters, and they're kids. So they don't really like, they don't really know what they're doing, so they end up sitting around a basement for like an hour and a half. But when they finally go to where Emily is, she attacks them, and she does this by like grabbing them, and it causes their skin to freeze. And she actually goes after these kids. She's not trying to kill anybody, but she's trying to scare them out of the house. So she does not go lightly on them. And her power seems to be that she can cause everything to like freeze, to go really cold. And that scene is quite creepy. Like, one of Rory's friends is trying to escape the room, and she like grabs her arm and like pulls her back, and the girl finally escapes. And, you know, it is exciting. And we get that again. There's a later scene where Lily is getting up to get a glass of water. She's walking down the stairs, and she hears someone telling the Alexa of the house. I forget what it's actually called. Is it like Alyssa? I think it's Alyssa. I don't know. But it's basically the smart house AI bot. So it's she hears someone telling it to like start the couch on fire. And the Alyssa's like, well, I can't do that. But it's this and then she's trying to like sneak up on what it is, Emily, the ghost. And Emily catches her, and she like basically causes the stairs to freeze and ends up throwing Lily down the stairs. It is really creepy. And it's well done. The only thing that I kind of didn't love, and it's a Goosebumps ending, and this does feel like a true blue Goosebumps ending. So the smart house stuff kind of comes into play more towards the end. When I say smart house, I mean this computer is hooked to the windows, the doors, everything. Like, you can close and lock the windows, lock the doors. You know how that's going to play out when you have an angry ghost. So Lily ends up having a slumber party, and she has her friends over, and Emily uses this chance to just go after everybody. So she locks the doors, locks the windows, turns off the lights. Everyone's panicking. Everyone's trying to get out of the house. And she finally like shows herself to Lily and the other girls. And Lily, realizing that this is all real, that this girl died and like is alone, actually like runs up and hugs her. And then all the girls kind of hug her. And Emily's like, oh my God, I have friends. Okay, maybe I won't try and run you out of the house. And then she joins the slumber party. And it's a cute ending. It is a very cute ending. It was the ending I was expecting. So I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't expecting a dark or like dark twist or anything like that. I don't want that in a Goosebumps book. So I was very happy with this. The writing was pretty good for an R.L. Stine book. He writes these books quickly. He's talked about it in some of his stuff where he writes these usually like in a couple days. So he does know how to craft a story and kind of push it out. He's also said he's never written anything from the heart. He writes because he writes to release a book, to sell a book. And so he gets an idea, he works with the idea, and he gets it out. And so this isn't like some heartfelt ghost story, but there are some good, solid moments. The one moment that made me go, ooh, there's a prank that Emily pulls on Lily where she puts a dead mouse in her sandwich and tries to frame Rory for it. And Lily actually takes a bite out of the dead mouse and ends up spitting out part of the dead mouse, and like what sees this decaying thing on her table in the lunchroom, and it's quite gross. But it did also remind me of something, and I had been watching Gavin Reads It All. He has done all of these Goosebumps. These Goosebumps read series read-throughs where he's read the whole entire series, and he was reading one of the series, and he was talking about all of the animal death and violence in that series, and it reminded me of the fact that that was like the go-to cop out for a lot of these books. Now, this one, it's just that one instance. It's quite gross. It might be a little upsetting for some younger readers, but they used to use that as a cop out all the time, because with these books, especially the middle grade ones, there was a restriction, like you can't really murder characters. There's a limit to how much death you can bring into these stories. So they used to always kill a family pet as kind of a workaround, or kill a mouse, a rat, a cat. Cats and dogs. Oh my God. Fear Street especially. Dogs. If you had a pet dog, that dog was not making it to the end of the book. So it gave me flashbacks to that. There was a little like, ugh. But overall, I had a blast with this book. Now, does that mean I'm going to be running out and buying all of the House of Shivers books? No. But I do think I will probably be revisiting Goosebumps again, if not for the channel, then for my personal reading. They're fun little ghost stories, fun little horror stories, kind of with an EC Comics twist. With Goosebumps, you go in knowing you're going to get goofy. You're going to get something that's goofy and maybe a little spooky. Sometimes they do actually bring the creep. Sometimes they bring the fear. But generally, it's just supposed to be a good time. And I accept that with R.L. Stine, because he is definitely someone who loves his practical jokes. He pulls them back a lot in this one. This one actually felt more like he was trying to tell a pretty solid ghost story, and he did. So I give this one, I think I gave it 4 stars. And I definitely recommend it. Adults, kids, I think it was a really fun one. The nice thing about the House of Shivers, unlike some of the other Goosebumps series that came before this, is these books are all standalone. There's no connective elements. Like the Horrorland books all had connective elements that told a larger story behind the main story. This doesn't have that. You can jump in wherever, which worked for me because this is the one that caught my eye. So definitely recommend this one. It's great if you need something that's kind of simple and easy to get through, and it's going to bring your anxiety level down. And if you're like me and you grew up with these kinds of books, you want a little nostalgia read, this definitely brings that. This felt like an old school Goosebumps book to me in a good way. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap that up there. Just to repeat, new videos are posted on this channel every Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I don't think I have any special episodes or anything coming up, but if you like the video, like and subscribe. You know, the channel's still growing, and I'm actually very happy with how it's growing, but it always helps to get some new subscribers up in here. And, you know, the likes let me know that you guys are liking the content that I'm putting out. All right, guys. Love what you love. Enjoy what you're reading and watching. And have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.